Hi there, it's Neil again, and we're talking in this series about HMOs, house of multiple occupancy, and the management of those. And I want to talk in this video regarding when do HMOs need planning permission, and also what is an Article 4 direction. So basically, we've talked about the licensing, that any HMO in the country with 5 or more people in it now requires a license as of the 1st of October 2018. And so now I want to talk about the planning permission side of it, and when does an HMO actually require planning permission to be allowed to be used as that. And the answer to that is when there are going to be 7 or more people living in the HMO. So again, as I said before, it's very important to recognise that a lot of the HMO legislation is worded around people and not the number of rooms. So if you have 7 people living in that HMO, then you will require a planning permission for it. And that is to change the use of the property from a residential property into something which is called a sui generis HMO, and essentially makes it into a certain class of commercial property, but it's called a sui generis HMO, and that is when you require to have planning permission to actually change the use of the property into an HMO. So that is, again, that is across the country. That is when you need to have planning permission. But we also have this thing called an Article 4 direction, which is in place in certain parts of the country. So you have to check with your own local authority regarding that. But essentially, the Article 4 direction is something that's brought in on a local level to regulate the amount of HMOs being created. And so what will happen is you'll have that council will say in this area, in this entire borough or in this certain area, there's now an Article 4 direction in place, and then you would have to get planning permission in order to comply and in order to have your HMO there. So again, mandatory wise across the country, 7 or more people, and you will require planning permission to turn it into a sui generis HMO. But you do need to look at your individual local authorities and see whether there is something called an Article 4 direction in place, because this will mean that even if even if you're building a smaller HMO or potentially even a non-licensable one, then you may still require to have planning permission under that Article 4 direction. So check with your local authorities, is there any Article 4 direction in place? And also remember that 7 or more people, and you will require planning permission to turn it into a sui generis HMO. Okay, speak to you soon.